Hello everyone, myself Deepa Singh, working as assistant professor in Gandhia School of Pharmacy, SGU, Jaipur. Today we discuss about QC test. QC test for tablet means quality control test or evaluation parameter of the tablet. In the previous lecture, we already discussed some parameter, official and unofficial test. Today we continue the remaining evaluation parameter in this class. Other than this, we also discuss about liquid dosage form or what are the liquid dosage form, the excipient used in liquid dosage form, formulation of liquid dosage form, and different types of liquid dosage form. So in this lecture, we include or study all complete information regarding liquid dosage form and remaining quality control test for the tablet. It's a subject of industrial pharmacy one, fifth semester subjects. So before starting this topic or this lecture, we should know about the learning object or basic object regarding this topic. First is quality control test for the tablet with their procedure, means how you perform quality control test or evaluation test for the tablet with their procedure and how you accept that test, it's an accepted limit or not, or the criteria, how you perform. All these tests we discuss in this lecture. And other than this, introduction of excipient used in dosage form, means what are the liquid dosage form or introduction regarding the liquid dosage form and different excipient that used in liquid dosage form. And other than this excipient, we also know about formulation of liquid dosage form, how we formulate liquid dosage form or procedure for formulating liquid dosage form with their procedure. Almost all type of liquid dosage form don't have same procedure. So in this condition, you know about which formulation, how we prepare, and the difference between each and every liquid dosage form formulation with procedure. All this we discuss in this topic. In this quality control test of the tablet, first test is friability, and the friability is a property that is related to hardness of the tablet. Means this friability test is directly correlate, or you can say directly proportional to your hardness. If friability is good, then your tablet should have good hardness. If friability is low, then a tablet easily break and a low hardness due to the friability problem. And friability problem mainly check with the help of friability, and the instrument that is used for checking the friability is known as friability, and it's a diagram of this friability, and this friability is mainly checking for wear and tear property or handling, or how much the strength that particular pressure of particular tablet. Means during transportation there may be chances that tablet get break or convert, maybe break down, or in the two or three parts, or show cracks. So this is due to the low hardness or friability problem. So in this we can check the wear and tear property, and the instrument that is known as friability. And in this you put your tablet in the friability and start rotating, and after 100 rotation you set a specific speed with 50 or 100 rpm, and rotation started. After 100 rotation you check the weight, and before starting this procedure, putting your tablet, you should weigh your 10 tablet weight. It's the initial weight, and after rotation or 100 rotation you again weigh the 10 tablet and check the difference between how much weight is reduced or how much tablet get break after the rotation. So this is regarding friability test, the procedure of friability. In the instrument is called as friability, is used to evaluate the ability of a tablet to withstand abrasion in packaging, handling, and shipping. Means your tablet should be good property and good ability to withstand the proper pressure or proper condition during packaging, maybe handling or shipping condition. Next is procedure. Weigh 20 tablet altogether, and there is W1 weight. Means you take 20 tablet or weigh all the tablet, or all 10 to 20 tablets, and after the weight, this weight is known as W1, and put these tablet in the friability and adjust the instrument at 100 rpm, that is 20 rpm for 25 rpm for 4 minutes. Means you require 100 rpm total, and example is you set 25 rpm for 4 minutes and weight the 20 tablet only the intact ones, W2. Means after rotation of 100 rpm rotation, you check or you weight your tablet. That weight is W2 weight, and you check how much friability or weight loss by the help of W1 and W2. Friability calculate by percentage loss, and it must less than equal to 1%, but it must more than do not reject the tablet. This is not official, non-official test. This fibrillary test is not official test. It is a non-official test, and it must be less than or maybe equal to 1%. Means your percentage fibrillary or percent loss should be less than percent or at least 1%. Consider if it's more than 1% or not in range between less than or up to 1%, then in this condition you reject your complete batch because your acceptance range of fibrillary test is less than 1 or up to 1%. So in this condition you reject your batch if it's more than 1%. And this is a non-official test, and perform this test using 20 tablets. They were used for first in the weight variation test, or you can also use another 20 tablets, means total 40 tablets if your test gets failed, and again perform this test. If it's again not in 1% range or more than 1%, then you can reject this batch. Official test is the disintegration test. Disintegration test is the time required for the tablet to break down in the particle, and disintegration test is measure only of the time required under a given set of condition for a group. We already discussed that disintegration means a breaking of a particle or breakdown of a tablet in small particle or converted into small particle, and this disintegration time is mainly depend on the type of tablet, which type of the tablet you prepare. Suppose you are preparing super disintegrating a fast disintegrating tablet. In this condition, the disintegration time should be fast. If in case of control release or sustained release type of formulation, so tablet should have a less disintegration time. In this condition, you prepare your tablet according to requirement, according to type of the tablet, and in disintegration test, you check how much time is required to break down your tablet or disintegrate your tablet. And in this, you may take a buffer solution or water solution for disintegrating your tablet. So in this, you check how much time is taken or required that particular tablet to get break into small particle in a given condition for a group. Liquid used in disintegration is water, or maybe you can also use stimulated gastric fluid or stimulated interstitial fluid, that is pH 7.5. Means you can use any type of the solution for this disintegration test, maybe water solution or maybe acidic pH or maybe basic pH. If you require show the effect of tablet in stomach, then in this condition you use acidic condition pH, that is the pH range is 1.2 HCl. You may use, and if you require to show the effect or disintegrate the tablet in intestine, in this condition you require to disintegrate your tablet in alkaline pH or basic pH, that is pH is approximate 7.5, and KH2PH4, that is phosphate buffer plus pancreatin enzyme plus sodium NaOH you also used in case of interstitial fluid. So in this integration, maybe you check how much time is required or how much time is taken by that particular tablet to disintegrate or break down a small particle. And according to type of the tablet, you select your solution or buffer solution, which type of solution is required to disintegrate. Next is limit for uncoated tablet. In uncoated tablet, according to USP and according to BP, United States Pharmacopoeia and British Pharmacopoeia, these are the limit for uncoated tablet. If it's a medium stimulated gastric fluid in the USP, and according to BP is require water, and in temperature is 37 degrees Celsius in both Pharmacopoeia, USP as well as BP, because this 37 is a body temperature. So this is a specific and standard temperature for both in Pharmacopoeia, and time limit not exceed 30 minutes. Means the tablet should be disintegrated within 30 minutes, and it do not exceed or don't show more than the 30 minutes according to USP. And according to BP, not exceed 15 minutes, means it should be disintegrated within 15 minutes, not exceed more than 15 minutes. This time is for uncoated tablet. According to USP, it's a 30 minutes, and according to BP, it's a 15 minutes. USP method for uncoated tablet. In this, start the disintegration test for 6 tablets, and if 1 or 2 tablets from the 6 tablets fail the disintegration completely within 30 minutes, repeat the same test for another 12 tablets. That is, the whole test will consume 18 tablets. Means you take 6 tablets, and out of 6 tablets, you start disintegrating or breaking of a tablet, and check how much time is taken. According to USP, if it takes more than 30 minutes, or out of 6 tablet, if 2 tablet or more than 2 tablet take uh, more than 30 minutes to disintegrate. In this condition, you should reject your batch, or you can take another 12 tablets, means total 18 tablets. 6 is previous one, or 12 is after rejecting that test. So total is 18 tablet, and again you perform this disintegration test, this in this 18 tablets. And when we can say that this not less than 16 tablet disintegrate completely within the time. Means total is there's 18 tablet, and in this you consider that suppose your 16 tablets are disintegrate according to time or within 30 minutes, then you can accept your test. And if more than 2 tablets, means total 16 tablet required to pass, and 2 tablet consider if it's not disintegrated in time. But if it's more than 2, or if it's less than 16 tablet disintegrate without a time limit or without in 30 minutes time. So in this condition, you reject complete batch, or you require to reject that batch due to the test is again fail or so improper disintegration time. If more than 2 tablets from the 18 fail to disintegrate, the batch must be rejected. Means from out of 18, 16 tablets should be required to pass your test or disintegrate within the time or within the 30 minutes, and only 2 tablets are considered to disintegrate in not required time. If it's more than 2, then you reject your batch. For coated tablet, to remove or dissolve the coat, immerse the tablet in distilled water for 5 minutes. Put the tablet in apparatus in water or HCl for 30 minutes at 37 degrees Celsius. According to USP, if not disintegrate, put interstitial fluid. Previous one is for uncoated tablet, but in coated tablet, it is coated one polymer or layer of certain polymer. And to check the disintegration of this coated tablet, you should disintegrate first your tablet in water to remove the layer or to remove the surface of that tablet or coat of that tablet. And after immersing this tablet or removing the coat of that tablet in distilled water, after 5 minutes, you remove the tablet and put that tablet in acidic condition pH or HCl pH for 30 minutes and check it's disintegrate or not. And it's not disintegrate, then you put this tablet in interstitial fluid or basic pH condition. If 1 or 2 tablets fail to disintegrate, repeat on 5 tablets, so that 16 tablets from 18 must be complete disintegrate within the time. More than if 2 or more disintegrate batches rejected. The remaining procedure is same for previous one uncoated tablet. If out of the 6 tablet, 1 or 2 tablet show or more than 2, at least 2 tablets show disintegration time more than 30 minutes, then in this condition you will take 12 tablets and total 18 tablets in this test. And after this 18 tablet, you perform disintegration test. If 2 tablet or more than 2 tablets get disintegrate more than taking 30 minutes, in this condition reject your batch. If 16 tablet are in a range and disintegrate proper way, in this condition accept your batch, otherwise it require rejection. USP methods for entry coated tablet. In this, put distilled water for 5 minutes to dissolve the fluid, and then put in stimulated gastric fluid, that is 0.1 molar HCl for 1 hour, and then put in stimulated interstitial fluid for 2 hours. And if 2 or more tablets fail to disintegrate, repeat this test on another 12 tablets and should completely disintegrate. If more than 2 tablets disintegrate in the batch, will be rejected. This is also similar, but in this entry coated, your tablet condition is little bit changed. Means you first dissolve your tablet or remove the coat in distilled water, and after 5 minutes, you remove a tablet and put in acidic pH 0.1 normal HCl. Then again 1 hour you remove this tablet and add this tablet to industrial or basic fluid condition for 2 hours, and then check your tablet should be disintegrate within 30 minutes. If it's 2 or more than 2 tablets don't disintegrate, then again take 12 tablets, means total is 18 tablets. And same acceptance criteria, means at least 16 tablets should be in a limit or disintegrate in within 30 seconds. VP method for entry coated tablet. In this British Pharmacopoeia, put in dissolved water for 5 minutes to dissolve the coat, and put in the stimulated gastric fluid for 2 hours emptying time and put in phosphorus buffer that is 6.8 for 1 hour. And if 2 tablets fail to disintegrate, repeat this test with 12 tablets and total 16 tablets should be disintegrated. Means acceptance criteria for all types of tablet or according to USP and BP is same. Means out of 18 tablets, at least 16 tablets should have within the range or within time required for disintegration. At least 1 or 2 tablets may be considered. If it's more than 2 tablets, then you reject your batch. And in this, it's all the same condition. First, to dissolve or put your tablet in a distilled water to remove the coat. And after that, you put your tablet in gastric pH or acidic condition. Here is 2 hours is required, and according to USP, is 1 hour is required. But in this 2 hours is required, and after this gastric condition, you put your tablet in phosphate buffer or basic condition according to intestine, and for 1 hour. And after that, check that how many tablets get past your tablet test. If it's 1 or 2 tablet, then you reject your batch or add again 12 tablets in total 18 tablets. Out of this, 16 tablets should require a limit or within the limit. Next is weight variation and uniformity of a weight test. In this, you check total or average weight of your tablet. Means all are in a required range or required weight or not. In this, weigh 20 tablets selected at random, each one individually x1, x2, x3, xz. Means you take at least 20 tablets and the weigh individually is 20 tablets. And after this weighing, you calculate the average. Average means sum of all 20 tablets divided by 20. It's a formula. Determine the average weight. Your average weight is limited by x is equals to x1, x2 up to 20. And so you are taking 20 tablets and divided by 20, and it's the average weight. And according to pharmacopoeia, according to USP, this is the limit for this weight variation test. And this weight of a tablet is 130 mg or less than, then percentage error is considered plus minus 10%. And if the weight of the tablet is 130 to 324 mg, then the percentage error is plus minus 7.5%. And weight of the tablet is 324 mg or more than, then percentage error is plus minus 5%. This is a percentage range which are accepted for weight variation test according to USP. Next is limit. For upper limit, average weight plus average weight into percentage error. For lower limit, average weight minus average weight into percentage error. And for the individual weight are compared with the upper and lower limit. And not more than 2 of this tablet differ from the average weight by more than percentage error. Listed no tablet differ more than the double percentage. This is also similar to a disintegration test. Means your percentage tablet should be differ within the limit. If within the error limit, if it's more than, then reject your batch. Next topic is liquid dosage form. We are already completed this quality control test. The previous slide we included all quality control tests, and in previous lecture we already covered remaining quality control tests. So we just finished the tablet part or complete introduction, including coating, formulation, excipients, evaluation, all the parameter of tablets. Now we start liquid dosage form. Liquid dosage form, you know about what is a liquid dosage form and the introduction and types of liquid dosage form. And in liquid dosage form are the essentially pharmaceutical product in the form which involve a mixture of active drug component and non-drug component, that is excipient, and liquid form of drug that used as a drug or medicament intended for administration and consumption. Means the liquid dosage form is nothing but a pharmaceutical product, a pharmaceutical dosage form, which is contain mixture of active drug, means your drug or API or your API or active pharmaceutical drug component and non-drug component. Non-drug component means excipient, because without this excipient you do not formulate this liquid dosage form. We should require different excipient to formulate this liquid dosage form. So this liquid dosage form is a pharmaceutical product which is formulated by a mixture of active drug or API and other component or non-drug component, that is excipient. And liquid form of a dose of a drug used as a drug or medication intended for administration or consumption. Means use that particular drug for particular therapeutic effect by the specific administration route of consumption of particular disease. And liquid dosage form are prepared by dissolving the active drug substance in aqueous or non-aqueous, that is alcohol, ether, glycerin. These are the solvent. Means you don't prepare liquid dosage form without the help of solvent. In this, you use both type of substance, maybe aqueous or non-aqueous substance. And non-aqueous, you take certain solvents like alcohol, ether, and glycerin. And second is by suspending the drug in appropriate medium to dissolve or suspend your drug or API in a suitable medium according to compatibility of your drug or your formulation. And by incorporating the drug substance into oil and or water phase, means if you are preparing suspension, then in this condition you also incorporate your drug. In this emulsion condition, you incorporate your drug in oil and the water phase. Or if you are preparing suspension, in this condition you suspend your drug in appropriate medium. So this is depend on the type of liquid dosage form, which type of dosage form you prepare, and liquid dosage form, suspension, emulsion, syrup, or any other. The oldest dosage form used in the treatment, rapid and high absorption of a soluble medicinal product, particular use for individual having difficulty in swallowing. And example is pediatric, geriatric, intense care, and psychiatric patient. Means these liquid dosage form are highly used, and according to this is also good or appropriate drug formulation, and it's largely used if a certain person are difficulty to taking the drug, like pediatric, geriatric, intensive patient or psychiatric patient. In this condition, we prepare this liquid dosage form, and it's easy to compare any other type of dosage form. And solution homogeneous liquid preparation containing one or more completely dissolved component. Means in this liquid dosage form, first to prepare homogeneous liquid solution or liquid preparation, and this liquid preparation should be uniform or homogeneous, completely dissolved component in one phase system. Don't show any layer or any separation between these phases. Next is active ingredient dissolved within the vesicle to obtain uniform source. And in general, water used as a vehicle in medicament dissolved. Water is non-toxic, non-irritant, tasteless, relatively cheap, and many drugs are water soluble or active solution. Means in liquid dosage form, you are preparing the formulation for a certain problem. If a person is suffering from certain problem, maybe geriatric patient or psychiatric patient, and no trained person is required for a liquid dosage form. And before preparing this dosage form, you should know that your formulation should be in a uniform phase or homogeneous phase. It's in a single one phase. And again, you can say that this liquid dosage form is not possible without the help of solution. You require certain type of a solution or solvent, and the solvent majorly used for liquid dosage form is water, because water is easily available and non-toxic as well as non-irritant, tasteless, and very cheap, and it is very compatible with many drugs and water soluble. So all these parameter or this good property of water, majorly solvent that is used for liquid dosage form is your water. Next is advantages of a liquid dosage form. In advantages, better for patients who have a double swelling expiration than other. Means those patients who are not take tablets or any other oral dosage form, or suffering, maybe having certain problem to swallow that particular type of formulation. In this condition, we have to prepare the liquid dosage form. Faster absorption than solid. Solid take more time to absorb compared to liquid dosage form. So we can say that this liquid dosage form have a good absorption property compared to a solid dosage form, because it absorbs fast, and in this no disintegration and dissolution takes place. It directly available in a solution form. That's a more faster absorption of this liquid dosage form. Next is more flexibility to achieving the proper dosage medication. You easily form this type of medication or good flexibility of this liquid dosage form. Next is palatable. No taste and odor or bad odor, and it's easily palatable to all type of the patient. Bad best choice for children and old age person. And children as well as old age person easily take this type of the syrup. And if you are preparing tablet, then maybe show certain problem, or children or old age person don't take that tablet. In this condition, liquid dosage form. All types of age group are take this liquid dosage form. So this is a best choice for children as well as old age person. Next is disadvantages of liquid dosage form. In this shorter life than the other dosage form, means this is a solution form. Due to this property, it is show short half-life than other dosage form or other solid dosage form, and harder to measure the accuracy. Means you don't calculate accuracy of this liquid dosage form. There's show some problem or certain difficulty to measure the accuracy of this type of dosage form. Next is need special storage condition. Means you require certain specific condition. You don't store anywhere in environmental condition, because it may be chances that degrade or show any interaction. In this condition, it requires specific condition or appropriate condition during storage. Some liquid dosage form get degrade due to contact with sunlight or exposure with humid condition. So a special care or special storage condition is required for this liquid dosage form. Less stable, stability problem is also less because it's in solution form, or there may be chances that an bacterial fungal growth can takes place if you not store properly or don't close the container properly. So stability issue is also occur in liquid dosage form. Next is easily affected by microorganism. Due to the liquid nature or solution in nature, microorganism can easily contact or affect this type of formulation, and so stability will have problems and bulky to carry around. The bulkiness of this type of formulation is also required to show certain storage or maybe handling problem due to their bulky nature, and easy to lose by breaking of the container. Means container is also easily break if you are stored in a glass container. In this condition, you will require certain special carrying, or then chances easily break that particular container. Measuring dose is required. In tablet, suppose you are preparing a tablet and without any measuring, person can take easily that one tablet. But in liquid dosage form, measuring is required. Suppose doctor has prescribed 5 ml or 10 ml. In this condition, to take accurate weight, not more than or not less than that particular amount. So accuracy of dose is also required, or measuring of the dose is also required in this liquid dosage form. Now, type of dosage form or different liquid dosage form. In this first majorly formulated or used liquid dosage form is syrup that are largely used, and syrup are the concentrated aqueous preparation of a sugar or sugar substituent with or without flavoring agent and medicinal substance. Means the syrup is also, you can say that is the sugar preparation or sweetening preparation, and in this use concentrated aqueous preparation of a sugar or as well as substituent with or without flavoring agent. Means majorly use sugar, or if you are not using sugar, then use any substituent of that particular sugar or substituent of any sweetening agent, and you may use flavoring agent or without flavoring agent. And medicament substance means your drug, your solution having a drug and a specific sugar or substituent of sugar solution, and with or without flavoring agent. This is known as syrup. And types of syrup is medicamented syrup and flavored syrup. Medicament is named itself say that it is used for a specific therapeutic purpose or medicinal purpose. In medicament syrup, syrup containing flavoring agent with medicinal substance. Means in this medicament syrup, your syrup contain API as well as flavoring agent and sweetening agent, and this is mainly containing medicinal substance used for certain problem or certain therapeutic effect. Next is flavored syrup. In flavored syrup, used as a vehicle for unpleasant tasting of medication. The result is medicated syrup. Means in flavored syrup mainly used to use a certain medicament that have unpleasant taste or very bad in taste, In this condition, this flavored syrup is mainly prescribed to overcome the problem of medicament syrup because due to the bad odor or bad taste. Next is syrup containing flavoring agent but not medicinal substance are called as flavored vehicle syrup. Example, cherry syrup, coca syrup, orange syrup, raspberry syrup. These are the example of syrup. Means the flavored syrup is majorly to overcome the taste and the odor of the medicament syrup. But this flavored syrup is not contain any medicament or any drug. And you majorly use for this type for overcome that problem or overcome the problem of medicament syrup. And these are the certain example, and these are according to standard book or a standard reference. In this, cherry syrup, coca syrup, and orange syrup and raspberry syrup are the example. And next is syrup containing medicinal agent are called as medicated syrup. Example is chlorpheniramines. Now, already discussed that medicament syrup means majorly contain your drug or medicament or API, which is used for certain specific purpose or showing specific therapeutic effect. An example of medicament syrup is chlorpheniramine maleate syrup, ipecac syrup, and chlorhydrous syrup are the example of this syrup or medicated syrup. Next is advantages of syrups. In this ability to discuss bad taste of medication means suppose the tablets having very bad taste or don't take your tablet. In this condition, when prepared in a syrup form, so this taste may be overcome by adding of certain flavoring agent or sweetening agents. Next is thick character of a syrup has soothing effect or irritated tissue of the throat. Means your syrup should have a sufficient thickness or thick property. When you take a syrup, it shows soothing effect and don't irritate your throat and don't show any irritation problem. So this is also one advantages. Contain little or no alcohol. Alcohol content is very less or no alcohol is present in the syrup. And easy to adjust a dose for child weight. Means for suppose example, in case of children or child, a small dose is required. So you easily take or adjust that particular amount of concentration of a syrup according to child weight. Next is crystallization. A saturated solution may lead to crystallization a part of a sucrose under condition of a changing temperature. Means when you store your syrup in an improper condition or in this condition, which is not for your formulation good. And in this condition, saturated solution show crystallization or your syrup forms certain crystal and due to changing in temperature. And as next is risk and dental caries diabetic patient because your syrup contains sugar or any sweetening agent. So in this condition, there may be chances that it cause dental caries or dental problem, or instead of this problem, some diabetic patient also don't take this type of the formulation or syrups. Next is elixirs. In elixirs are the clear sweetened hydroalcoholic solution. These are intended for oral use and are usually flavor and enhance the palatability, and usually less sweet than the syrup and less viscous. This is also liquid dosage form and almost similar to a syrup, but there's a difference is like it's less thick than compared to a syrup. And in this you also use your medicament or API and flavored agent. And sweetening agent you also use, but it's in very less concentration compared to syrup or maybe not used in the elixir. And one major difference is that is in clear solution or sweetened hydroalcoholic solution. Means in this alcohol is also present, but in syrup alcohol is not present, and remaining excipient are the same. And it is again classified in two types: non-medicated elixirs, means only vehicle are present in this elixir. Second is medicated elixir, in this used for therapeutic effect, means API or drug present in this medicated or therapeutic elixirs. And are hydroalcoholic solution, at least one active ingredient. Elixir consists of alcohol and water, are sweet and taste, have a nice flavor, and are mainly used to solubilize the active ingredient and some excipient. Means it is similar to a syrup. It contains sweetening agents as well as flavors, but sweetening agent is very less. And major ingredient of this elixir is alcohol. It is a solution of alcohol and water, or you can say that is a hydroalcoholic solution. And this alcohol is majorly used to solubilize your API as well as excipient and formulate the uniform solution or uniform mixture, and retard the crystallization of the sugar. Preserve this finished product, provide a sharpness to the taste and aid in making Unpleasant taste of active ingredient, enhance the flavor, means a syrup, remove chance that crystal is formed. So this problem is overcome by this alcohol or elixir, and unpleasant taste is also removed. Lowest alcohol quality that dissolve completely active ingredient and clear solution is generally chosen. High concentration of alcohol give burning taste to the final product, means the concentration or amount of the alcohol you should fix. If it's more alcohol containing elixir, then in this condition you face certain irritation or burning sensation in your formulation. And elixir have a low viscosity than syrup. They have a flow more freely than very less use of agent that increase viscosity like sucrose. To call formulation elixir, this may be hydroalcoholic and the amount of alcohol may be very greatly. Means this is a similar to a syrup, but it is less viscous and less sweetening agent. And you use sucrose in a very less amount, and alcohol is also fixed amount according to the formulation. Advantages of elixir: better able to maintain both water soluble and alcohol soluble component in the solution. Has a stable characteristics, easily prepared by simple solution. And disadvantages: less effective than syrup in masking test of medicated substance. Contain alcohol and gyrate saline taste of the bromide. Next is suspension. A suspension is heterogeneous mixture containing solid particles that are sufficiently large or sedimentation. The suspension consists of dispersely relatively coarse particle, usually in aqueous vehicle. This is the third type of liquid dosage form. First, we discuss about syrup, then emulsion, then suspension. Suspension is also a liquid dosage form, but is a heterogeneous mixture or containing particles that are suspended in your solution or in an aqueous vehicle. And due to this is known as suspension because particles are segmented or suspended, and these are the coarse particles. And suspension may be used for oral or topical administration. Means not necessary that your suspension should be for internal use. It should be maybe internal use or for topical preparation also. And like solution, oral suspension are useful in case of children patient who cannot tolerate liquid dosage form. Solid dosage form. Means suspension is also used when some patient who don't take that particular formulation by solid dosage form. Example, old age patient or children. In this condition, you formulate your formulation in liquid dosage form for patient compliance, or patient can take easily to improve their tolerance. Next is advantages of a suspension. In this or other dosage form, some drugs are insoluble in all acceptable media and must be therefore administered as a tablet, capsule, or suspension. Because of their liquid character, suspension represent an ideal dosage form for patients who have difficulty swallowing tablet and capsule. These factors particularly important in administration of a drug to children. Suspension of insoluble drug may also be used externally, often as protective agents. Means advantages that if person is not taking solid dosage form, in case of children and old age patient, and you prepare the suspension, so then easily can take. And the suspension should be good formulation and stable formulation. If particles are suspended in a formulation or in a liquid preparation and provide a protective effect who are taking the suspension solution. And in disadvantages, suspension also possesses some disadvantages related to other dosage forms. The primary disadvantage is physical instability that may tend to settle over the time, leading to lack of an inflammatory of those. Every formulation have a certain disadvantages. According to this, suspension also have a certain disadvantages. That one is a physical stability or instability. When you store the suspension in inappropriate conditions, so in this condition, there may be chances that there's a particle that suspend or maybe settle down in your solution. And next is this, however, minimized by careful formulation and seeking the suspension before each dose is delivered. And you can also overcome this problem by shaking your formulation before using or optimizing your formulation in proper way. In additional disadvantages, the texture of suspension may be unpleasant to patient and should be carefully considered during formulation. This suspension also unpleasant in taste for patient and shows certain problem during taking this type of formulation. Next, liquid dosage form is emulsion. Emulsion is a mixture of two or more liquid that are normally immiscible. Emulsion are two-phase system consist of liquid drug substance They are classified, means this is also liquid dosage form, but this is a mixture. In this, one or two liquid is used, and these are majorly immiscible, or there's a two phase. These phase may be oil in water, water in oil, are the two phase for this emulsion. And emulsion can be administered by not only oral route but also topical route, or certain injection route like intramuscular route, topical and oral. These are the routes for emulsion administration. This is all regarding the liquid dosage form. So in liquid dosage form, we already covered different liquid dosage form and types. And after this, these are the outcome for this lecture. After completing this lecture, you should know about quality control test of the tablet with their procedure, how you perform, their limited or their specific criteria for acceptance, or how you accept or reject that particular batch. Introduction of excipient used in liquid dosage form, means what are the liquid dosage form, why you formulate that, and certain problem excipient that is used, and how you check compatibility with each and every excipient. All this you know about this lecture. And next is formulation of liquid dosage form with procedure. Different dosage form, how you formulate, and the advantages and disadvantages including excipient and procedure. In this we covered syrup, emulsion, suspension, and elixirs. These type of a formulation for liquid dosage form. This is learning outcome. After this reference part, for this topic, use pharmaceutical pre-formulation, the physicochemical properties of the drug substance by James and Dells Ellis, Harvard's Limited, published test result. Ansel pharmaceutical dosage form drug delivery system, 8th edition by Lord B. Allen Nicholas, G. Coppage, Harvard C. and C. published by VI Publication Pvt Limited. Third reference is pharmaceutical pre-formulation by Jetty Cartesian, published by Technological Publishing Co. Fourth reference is textbook of physical pharmaceutics by C.V.S. Subramanian, published by Balla Prakashi. Next reference is the theory and practice of industrial pharmacy by Leon and Lehman Harvard's Lieberman, Joseph K. King, third edition, published by Legacy Publishing House. Next reference is Martin Physical Pharmacy, Pharmaceutics Science, edition by Patrick J. Singh, published by Lipperford, William Wilkin. Last reference is pharmaceutical dosage form tablet 1, tablet volume 1, edited by Haberts, A. Lieberman, Leon Lehman, published by Marshall Decker. This is all about the reference of this topic. Next is question part. In the question regarding this topic, which is the correct definition of pseudoplastic liquid? The option is a liquid which becomes less viscous at the rate of shear increase. The option is a liquid which becomes more viscous as the rate of shear increase. And third is a liquid which becomes less viscous over the time when constant shear stress is applied. Fourth, the option is a liquid which becomes more viscous over a time when a constant shear stress is applied. And second question is, what is the correct definition of the solubility? In this, A option is ability of a solid particle dispersed throughout a liquid continuously phase. This ability of a solid to dissolve into a solvent, and C is the rate at which solid dissolve into a solvent. D is ability of immiscible liquid droplet dispersed within a liquid phase. Third question is, what is the role of xanthan gum within some liquid formulation? A is regulate pH, B is control viscosity, C is enhanced solubility, D is enhanced viscosity. Fourth question is, which of the following statement is false? A is a liquid formulation for intravenous delivery must be aqueous solution that do not precipitate in the bloodstream. This is a parenteral suspension and oil-based parenteral solution can only be administered by intramuscular subcutaneous route. C, the small volume parenteral liquid must be administered intravenously, but large volume parenteral liquid may be administered by any other route. P is water for injection is term used to describe sterile purified water that are result of preparation of aqueous medicine for parents of delivery. Fifth question is, aspirated artificial sweetener as the main disadvantages as carcinogenic. D is metallic aftertaste, C is bitter aftertaste, D is hygroscopic in nature. And sixth question, of the following oral liquid dosage form would have a considered as an oropharyngeal formulation? A is a syrup, B is elixir, C is mouthwash, and D is linctus. And seventh question, which of the following formulation would not be applicable to ocular administration? And in this, the option is solution, B is ligament, C is suspension, and D is ointment. And eighth question, in the stability of emulsion, which important stability would be prevented? A is breaking, B is coanthesis, C is flocculation, and D is creaming. Next, ninth question is, why emulsion dosage from lipophilic drug proved better And this key option is easy manufacturing. B is high stability of a drug in emulsion form. C is presented a large surface area of the oil to the GIT for absorption of the drug. And is a fast clearance of the plasma. Emulsion we already discussed, that is a biophasic or heterogeneous mixture and containing two-phase oil and water. And if you know complete information regarding the emulsion or the lipophilic or as well as hydrophilic in nature. So in this, you can answer this question 9 question easily out of this ABCD option. You can select any one correct option, maybe it's easily manufactured or maybe high stability in the emulsion form or present large surface area in GIT or easy clearance or fast clearance to the plasma. And 10th question is, which is the major rate limiting step in the absorption of drug suspension dosage form? Suspension we already discussed, that is a liquid dosage form containing a particle or medicament suspended in a solution, and this suspension may be get settled during the storage. So you before preparing this suspension, optimize your formulation or check the stability or shake before use, before after using during using. So in this, you can select any correct option which type is suitable for your suspension or absorption of the suspension. The options is tablet disintegrate to granules. B is granule disintegrate to fine particle. C is fine particle dissolution, and D is the dissolution absorbed into the blood. This is all regarding the question. You solve this question after completing this topic or completing quality control test. And quality control test, some quality control are covered in previous lecture and the remaining are covered in this lecture. Other than this quality control test, we will discuss about the liquid dosage form. In liquid dosage form, different types of a liquid dosage form, like syrup, emulsion, suspension, elixirs, all be covered in this lecture, and with the advantages, disadvantages, and formulation parameter. Why prefer this type of formulation, and if you are not preparing properly, which problem is occur. All this we covered in this lecture or liquid dosage form. So you should assure that complete information regarding liquid dosage form. After completing this, you answer this question. So thank you so much for watching and listening this video. Thank you.